Yo, girl, Cadillac. Yes, I'm Kadlac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Bing, girl. Couldn't even get it out. I'm hoping to see justice before all face to bleed. Yes, it's your girl, Cadillac. Anyways, girl, so I'm black. Can I zoom in? Yeah, to let me zoom. Okay, sometimes it don't want to let me zoom. But we are today just watching YouTube, watching some of the videos and content that I watch, that I consume, because I am a YouTube consumer. Y'all, sorry I got this rigged up. Y'all already know. So if this tablet should fall, I hope not though. So what we doing is we are finishing. I don't know what video we're gonna. Oh, I do know what video we're gonna watch first. But we are finishing this picture here. This is Trey King. He's a YouTuber that I do enjoy watching. This is a Project Reach the World, Trey King. The reason I decided to do Trey King is because I wanted to review a video that he put out. Y'all can watch. Is it the last live? Did I do that on live? I think I did, because I don't usually have a lot of space on my storage on my tablet, so I just go live, so you don't have to utilize the space. But the only downfall in that is that my lives do not get as many views as my regular videos. So I don't know. It is what it is, girl. So if you want to see me drawing thus far of Trey King and reviewing that video, then I will link it later, girl, whenever I get to it. But I do believe it's the last live right before this one. All right, so let's finish up this. How can I get this in the frame correct? I don't want my tablet to fall. I have it. I got my tablet, girl. I'm just gonna describe it. I just can't describe it. Okay, so I'm gonna describe it, girl. So I have a ring light, but the ring light is meant for a cell phone, a cellular device, girl. It ain't meant for a tablet. So I got the little stand thing that the phone goes on. I got my tablet tied with Walmart bags, because you know we could utilize some Walmart bag, girl. You can use it for everything. Like, girl, it was times I used it for a shower cap, or the garbage can thing, the little garbage can liners, girl. They come in handy. They diaper disposable bags too, like, girl. So I got the Walmart bag tied around my tablet, holding it onto this light stand. So who knows how long that's gonna stay. So hopefully you can see me here drawing, and we're gonna pick a video I was watching. Maybe we'll finish this video. I love her, love her, love her, from Alicia Renese. Girl, I was heavily watching her. She's all about black girls being creative, and she helps basically women in general, but her target audience are black creative women, which that's me, girl. Like, a lot of times we don't have a safe space to like talk about the things that we're going through, our art, our struggle. So I was watching her this morning, so I think maybe we should continue watching her, and then I'm gonna be working on Trey King. Okay, so where is that? Let's go to my history. Oh, I also was just watching Africa Diaspora. I love him too. Did I start him? No, I didn't. Phil Scott. I will be starting him next. He will be one of my next Project Reach the Worlds. Yes, because I do believe him. The way he speaks and the way he talks, he seems like he would be one that would actually help me further this Project Reach the World. Now, I do know this story is not going to get broken on my channel. I ain't got enough traffic like that, girl. So I have to get other eyes. interesting. That's how I used to do out there in real life. Like that's why I used to go to the concerts and to events and political marches and all types of stuff, telling my story and getting my artwork to those people that do have those voices that I don't have. But you know, Project Reach the World used to be hands-on because there was a lot of events back prior to 2020. After 2020, a lot of things became virtual. So now I'm trying to figure out how to do the project like virtually. Like, how do I get as much attention virtually as I used to get in person, girl? Okay, so we gotta go to history. Now, here I was watching. Here it is. Let it go. I'm letting go. I'm letting my life fall apart. That's exactly what I feel like doing too, girl. Because it's too much work trying to hold it together. But let's go ahead and maybe I'll restart it for you guys. Add. I knew it. But the ad is how the content creator gets paid. So let's let it play. How long is this ad though? I can't let it play for y'all waiting on me. So let's skip. I'm sorry. And let's rewind and let's listen to Miss Alicia Renese. I love another ad. Cause I rewound. Okay, my girl getting paid, so it's okay. Okay.
I've been thinking a lot about letting go, and there have been so many things in my life that I have been afraid to let go.
I wonder, can y'all hear this?
Because I've been afraid of what life would look like without it.
I hope so.
What would life look like without these friends, or this job, or these classes? Like, what would I be? Who would I be without these things? And that unknown was scary, and holding on to those things.
I gotta try to move it closer.
For me, it was like a matter of life and death. That's what it felt like. Even though in real life,
without my tablet phone.
Really life and death. It feels like life and death. But I think I've reached a place where I'm just ready to let it all go. Let go of the expectations. Let go of the pressure I put on myself. Let go of other people's expectations, and see what happens. Because I spend so much energy trying to maintain some things that I don't even want. They don't even serve me. They don't even feel good. Because I'm afraid of who I am without those things. But I think I'm becoming more afraid of who I'm going to become if I hold on to the things that no longer.
This is exactly where I feel like just letting it all go, girl. I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of striving. I'm tired. I mean, as hard as I'm trying, my hardest try is not getting me anywhere. So I'm literally like sick of trying. I don't even want to try nothing else. It seems like all I can do in my life. And at this point, I'm just ready to just stand. Just literally let it go. Like, the channel ain't moving, girl, let that channel go. Forget about that. Because she's going to get into it later. Like, when you get into your 20s and your 30s. And now I'm in my 40s. And I'm like, I literally have been trying since I was 18. And I have not gotten too much closer to my dreams at all. I take one step forward, take 20,000 million trillion steps backwards. So at this point, it's just feeling like, girl, it's just not for you. You're not going to have those things you desire, so you kind of got to let those desires go. Point in case, like my desire for more kids, it became clear and evident when Mr. Jackson wasn't coming home at year 10, and the clock is ticking that, okay, pretty much your daughter is the daughter that you're going to have. You have to enjoy, love, embrace that. There are people that don't even have that one child, so you have to be grateful. And that's where I'm at. It's like, okay, I have a grandchild, but, you know, a lot of people I know have several grandchildren. Like, they have 5 and 6, and they're waiting all these. I won't have that many grandchildren because I only have one child. So that will be something that if I hold on to it and I just desire it so bad and it doesn't happen, it hurts you more than just saying, hey, you know, guess it's not for me. And then also, like, my relationship with Marcello, I want to be with him. I want to be married to him. I want to live life like everybody else that I see around me. And the more that I want that, the more that I I'm constantly reminded, girl, that ain't for you. He ain't coming home till Jesus comes back. So, girl, you better settle on in by yourself. Like, honestly, I seen this vision as a child. I was shown the vision as a child that I would be alone. And it scared me so bad. I promise you, I was a child. I was like maybe 10 or 11, I don't know. And I had this vision. I was laying on the couch and I was alone. And I just couldn't figure out, like, my parents were gone. Um, I, I don't know. I just did not have anybody. And I was like, so what am I going to do? I'm going to be alone. And then I started realizing, okay, well, maybe you'll have kids, maybe you'll have this or that, and you won't be all alone. Maybe you'll have friends, maybe you'll have, you know. And the further I go in my life, the more it seems like that dream was not just a dream, a nightmare, that it was a look into my future, that Keita, you will be alone. But that's where my life is that way. As much as I'm married, I'm single. So what's the point? Girl. Okay, so what's the point, right? So, though I want to wear the label of married woman, all of that, I'm alone. My daughter had moved out. Y'all know 2 years ago I went crazy when I that empty nest syndrome. Like, girl, like at my end of my 30s, and I was like, dang, like I always thought I was gonna have Marcello home before money left, because that was my biggest fear, being alone. So yeah, so and at this point, girl, I'm tired of trying. It ain't happening. My best try gets me this much. So why not try? Why keep trying is what I really feel like. Let's just let whatever happen. Let me draw these little pictures. Let me go to work. I need to settle in learning more how to be an employee. I think I fight against it daily. It's almost like in slavery. You know, you had those that revolted against it. You had those that was just like, this is kind of what it is. Now, the changes would not have came if it were not for those that was like, heck no, I'm not, no. Who finna live like this? Who? Like, girl. And I think that would have been me, because I literally just don't know how to sit down and quit and let it go. Okay, that's how it is. This world is set up like this. Systems have been in place before you were born, after you were born. You're not the first affected by the system. And baby girl, you are not going to be the last, right? I don't get that memo. I don't know why I can't get that memo, but I don't. So I keep fighting. So it causes an internal struggle with me, where I just want what I want, and I know nobody's gonna get it to me. Ain't nobody gonna give it to me. Nobody's gonna give him the freedom that he was born with, right? We have to fight for what we were born with. So I don't know. It's just that struggle, but it gets to the point where you like, girl, my best try ain't doing nothing. So let's take several seats. Like, that's how in 2020, that's what I was saying. I wanted to hurry up and get them home so I could take several seats. But at this point, let's just take several seats. He coming back when Jesus come back, right? All right.
Hurt me, things that harm me, holding on to different versions of me that I think that I have to be loved.
I hope you can hear this.
Approved of and seen. And all that really does is affirm the idea that who I am inherently is not enough. That I have to become something different to be loved.
Okay,
to
let's
be enough.
switch.
I'm reaching a place where I'm just letting go. Trisha Hersey, in her book Rest as Resistance, she talks about letting the chips fall where they may, like just letting whatever happens, not valuing a system over my own body, my own well-being. And I love that. And I think that is the ultimate act of faith, letting things fall apart. Because sometimes some things need to fall apart because they weren't supposed to be built in the first place. We're so afraid of letting go, of resting, of evolving, because we're afraid of what's going to fall apart. But what if falling apart is actually a gift? What if things falling apart actually allows us to be free, allows us to become who God really wants us to be, allows us to take up space in a way that's authentic and honest, and not in a way that's fearful and scared and scarce. Because the truth is, I'm afraid of letting go of things because I'm afraid nothing better is going to come. That's the fear. It's like, if I let go of this thing, what if nothing better comes? But the truth is that I believe that what
I feel like,
what I think is
okay,
the
can we
greatest
pause?
thing, like
Can we
holding
pause?
on.
Okay, so my part, I feel like I have worked so hard that if I stop working hard now, I'm gonna lose all that extreme hard work I've done my whole life. So that's where it's at, for me. Like, and she's gonna talk about that, feeling like you're behind. I feel like I tried so hard to be behind. Like, if I hadn't like tried so hard, I would be like light years more behind than I'm already behind. So it's like I almost wanna, keep that momentum. Like, I'm so far behind, but if I stop trying to keep up all the time, then I'll just be ridiculously behind, which I'm already ridiculously behind, but you know what I mean? I would be like severely, like almost like uh, ridiculously, don't even know the words to describe it, but much, 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 much further behind than I'm already behind. So that's why it's like I cannot stop, but I know that it's not getting me nowhere. I'm not literally moving nowhere close. I'm moving backwards, honestly, in life.
To this thing that's not healthy for me, right? This idea of what is good, God has greater than that. If God is the author, then what I can imagine is small in comparison to what God can create, what God can show me. And it's like we're holding on to these things, that are harming us because we're so afraid that if we let go, nothing good will come. But the thing that we're holding on to isn't good either.
She hit the nail right there, holding on because you feel like nothing good will come. I honestly, and now please don't be like, oh, you're just being negative. Don't tell me that same thing that everybody already said that clearly is not helping me. You're just being negative. If you be more positive, positive will happen. No, baby. When I'm positive, it don't happen. When I'm negative, it don't happen. I have, baby, negative people do not go out and do and pursue as much as I have done. They don't do it. They don't even try. They think about doing it and they be like, no, but if I try this, this will happen. So that shoots down the option of even trying. They don't try. So I go out wholeheartedly believing that everything that I have done will work and can succeed. And then I come back with my tail tucked between my legs like, oh girl, you didn't make it. You jumped out there again on all that faith and you did not reach the other side. Like Marcello says, when he was in South Carolina, he used to jump house. They used to jump houses from house to house, like on the rooftop. Which I don't know. I guess that was just something they did, girl. And when he would think about it, he would jump, and he fell one time, and he was like, he never again thought about it. He would just go out there and jump because he was like, the minute you stop and stall, then you fall, right? So just jumping out there, and I so many times have jumped out there on faith, like I done seen God do this for that person, and if they can do it, I know I can do it. That person ain't no better than me, and I've worked like literally hard as I don't know what. I don't want anything handed to me, baby. I will work for it, but I do want what I work for. That's the part that irritates my soul. When I work hard and I don't get it, I have literally worked, you know what I mean? I deserve what I have worked for. But when you come back and have it, it's like going to work all week. Now you tell me this, how positive you gonna be? You done went to work all week and then you don't get paid. Will you say, oh, well, this just wasn't my season to get paid? Will you say, no, you've put in that work and you want that check? I put in that work for my channel to get monetized. I want my channel monetized. I'm not okay with constantly doing my channel. Now, I'm okay with waiting. I'm okay with, oh, it's not your time yet. I'm okay with steady struggling until that time comes, but I'm not okay with constantly struggling and it never comes. Just as working tirelessly from the time they wrongfully convicted my husband to break his story. Every single girl, there is not one day in my life since 2002, April of 2002, that I can remember that I sat back and did nothing on trying to break this man's case. Since 2002, April. Can you tell me something that you have literally been working towards since 2002, if you were alive, that you literally, honestly, every day, you have not slacked off? You're finding this way, finding that way, you're brainstorming, you're meeting this person, you're emailing, you're doing this, you're cold calling, you're asking for help, you're putting out petitions, you're drawing, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on YouTube. Like, please tell me something you have done that long and you still have not achieved your goal. And then to know that you have done that much and your goal is so much further than really, honestly, had I never fought for Marcello, never did no Project Reach the World, never did none of this, I literally would be in the same spot that I'm in. So what did I gain? What did I even get but tired for fighting for him? Like, literally, that's why a lot of people, like, honestly, most people, when their loved one is wrongfully convicted, they literally just let them go. And I just didn't know that that was really the only option. That honestly is your only option. Let it go. They gone now, and just, nothing you can do. But I always thought there was something that could be done. I really did. And I myself did believe in justice. I thought it existed. I honestly thought it existed. But I'm like, I literally wasted my life fighting.
The relationship, the job.
I'm ready to let it all just
I've been letting go of posting regularly. I've been letting go.
And it feels like you're doing a juggling act to try to keep it together. And it's like, it's literally, if you miss one ball, that whole thing coming crumbling down. And I just can't juggle anymore. Too hard, too tired to juggle. Too, what was the word I'm trying to think of? Discouraged. Too discouraged to juggle. Too discouraged to try not one more thing because everything I've tried has failed. I don't even want to try no more. You get to that point, honestly, where you literally don't even, you probably could push through and make it to that breaking point, but you don't have nothing else left in you wanting to fight.
Needing to control my narrative, needing to control what of me, because it's none of my business anyway. And I can't control it anyway. I feel lighter, I feel freer. I've been letting go of the idea of following a professional course that I've been following for a while, like on a mission to become this professional position. Because the theory is like, well, if I don't do this thing, I'm not going to make any money. But that's not true. I believe that God can provide for me by me being in alignment with who I'm supposed to be in God.
Yeah.
I've been out of alignment. I have, and I feel like a lot of us have been too. Like a lot of people that I encounter.
See how she real? Most people will not say the things that this girl says. That's why I love her.
Talk to are out of alignment because they're afraid. Oh, who am I without this job? I'm afraid to let go of this job because then I'll lose my home. They go to the worst extreme. I lose my home. I lose my friends. I lose my benefits and all these different things. So it's like, well,
now, most likely you probably do lose your home, but I mean, at this point, you can't enjoy your home anyway because you're always at work. Like, what's the point? Like, literally, I had an apartment that I couldn't even relax in for 22 seconds because I literally had to be to work. I had to be there. So you're paying rent for what? For what? You working to pay rent. Like, I got my song. I work to live and I live to work. I Hustle hard until it hurts. I work my fingers down to the bone. And once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. So what's the point in that? What literally is the purpose in that? There is no purpose. It's just to keep you in a cycle. Keep you away from what you want in life, what you love in life, what God put you on this earth in life to do. Just keep you spinning your wheels constantly until one day you die.
You're getting in exchange for that. High blood pressure, high cholesterol,
Stuff
no
you
real
gonna
life,
leave here
no,
when you
in real
dead.
life, no time to spend with your friends,
Yeah.
no time to travel, no time.
Got family and can't never see them. That used to tear me up. Having my daughter and wanting nothing more but to spend time with my daughter, but having to take my behind to work. Like they used to get on my last everlasting nerve. Everybody laughs about this, but it really wasn't funny. It was one time I was going to the super center. I worked overnight, and literally when I got there, it's like you get yourself stuck in a position where you mentally don't feel like you can move forward. Like you have tried so much. Like I tried so hard to leave that super center. Went to cosmetology school, graduated, passed state board, come back, carpal tunnel, can't be a cosmetologist. Had to return back with my tail tucked between my legs. Girl, Kitty, you ain't good enough. So going back to this darn job, because this is all you'll ever have in life. So I go back to Walmart. And I'm struggling. I'm still overnight. I got all the potential, all the talent. I got everything God has gifted me, everything. But yet, nothing ever takes off, succeeds, sustains me, pays my bill, feeds me, feeds my child. Nothing but a freaking 9 to 5. So I return back, and the night shift, when you get off the night shift, oh my gosh, if anybody works the night shift, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I would be so tired of, I'm tired of being here all night. I'm tired of stressing myself out, trying to stay up all night. I'm tired of drinking energy drinks. I'm tired of falling asleep on my way home from work. I'm tired of being with my daughter and falling asleep. I'm tired of us going to get something to eat at the darn Walmart after work, and I fall asleep at the freaking table, and she's like wandering off through the store, and then I'm looked down upon as being a horrible mother. And like ridiculous, and you trying, you literally don't even have another ounce of try in you. And you get home and you like, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna find me another job. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And when you get home, you can't do nothing but because you're behind, is sleepy as jail. So you go home, you go to sleep, you wake up too late, you don't even get to put in the job applications that you've been thinking and wanted to put in, and then the day recycles itself and it's time for your behind to go back to work. Girl. And I would take my little paint box with me. I did so much painting at Walmart. I would have my canvas under my arm when I was doing my hand painted t-shirts. I have the t-shirt on the hanger, and I'm running out the door. I got my smock on. I struggled to find my name badge. Barely got my clothes clean so I can go to put on my skin. Just like I got checkered skin, back then I had that blue and tan skin from oh my God, from the super center. And it made me feel like I was putting on my prison blues. Just like how Marcello wear his prison blues, that's what that uniform felt like. That was my prison blues. Like I literally was in that uniform more than I was in any regular street clothes. Your identity becomes that freaking job. Now I know y'all probably think I'm just ranting, but I know it got to be somebody else out there that feels the way I feel. I cannot be the only one. So the time recycled itself, and it was time to kill my butt to work again, leave my daughter in the bed again, as I go off to work overnight, struggle through the night, making circles, walking in circles so I don't fall asleep, going to the bathroom, putting my foot up on the stool and putting my elbow on my knee to hold my head up, and when my butt falls over, then my nap's over. Like, or trying to sneak into the photo lab to take a 5 minute nap, taking endless energy drinks, coffee, anything to stay awake. It recycles itself and it's time to go back to work. I was so over that. And I was like, God, please take me from that. I can't do this. I literally did not even want to wake up if this is how I had to live. I didn't want to live no more, honestly. If this is my reality, I don't want this at all. It's fine. It's a that's how I felt. And I literally got in the front yard and just threw myself in the yard, and I rolled back and forth through the grass and said, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. I'm tired of working. And everybody literally just laughed at me. And this was my family members. They laughed at me. But it gets to that point. What is it for? Yes, you're holding the pieces together barely, but you're not even making enough to put nothing to the side so that maybe one day you can afford to get out of this rut. No, they're just giving you tidbits, enough to barely survive. Barely survive. Like they feed my husband in prison, they don't feed them, they feed them crumbs, garbage, barely enough to just to keep them alive, to keep their hearts beating. If they need to eat anything other than that, that's going to come from the family sending it to them. And that's where they're making that bank. Just side note.
Dream. You're exhausted. You're depleted.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of alignment. You have low self-esteem. You have all these things in exchange
because you start to feel like because you're there, you start thinking, well, I'm getting what I deserve in life. Because people are going to tell you that. You're there because you chose to be there. I'm like, literally, how did I choose this? I chose better than this, but it just didn't come. But people are going to tell you, you chose that. So you're literally like, okay, I'm not going to, try to push it off. I chose this, so this is, my life. So you start thinking, then what the heck is wrong with me? Why can't I do better? Why can't I? That's where that self, you start beating up yourself. Like, why can't you do what other people do? Other people, you see them go out there dreaming, they get it. Why aren't you good enough to do that? It's that whole cycle. It's a broken cycle. And it's not really perpetuated by us. It's perpetuated by this capitalistic society that is meant to keep us in a cycle, spinning our wheels till we die. Take our youth, take all the energy, our good strength, our health, everything, and work and work and work and work. And maybe one day, if you live long enough, you can retire. Which my mother died at age 53 before retirement. So she worked her whole goddamn life and did not get to enjoy much of it. That's what they want. And I don't want that.
Life. And for me, personally,
I want to
it's
be
just
an
my
artist.
personal position, because everybody ain't there. I am okay with living in my car. I am
Me
okay
too, girl, at this point.
letting the chips fall where they may. I am okay with not turning out how people wanted me to turn out. I'm okay with life not turning out how I envisioned, because I know better can come when I get out the way.
So yeah, she's on an ad. Oh, let the ad keep going. But yeah, I literally at this point, I feel that way too. Like my best try ain't getting me nowhere. What's the purpose of this? And I have been thinking heavily. Y'all know I watched Life with Anthony, girl, and he's a car lifer. And I literally myself said, like, maybe that would be better. Like, I love being out. Like, he's always at the campsites and stuff like that. I love nature. I love exploring. Like, he's always on the road. And basically, when you don't have to pay for, like, insurance, and you're not, I'm not insurance, but, like, yeah, renter's insurance, they make you get that stuff now, where you're not having to pay rent, you're not having to pay light, you're not having to pay gas, you're not having to, like, literally just give all your earnings into just surviving. You're able to actually build up your money, and that's what he did. He went into the car. He had lost his house and all of that. And he started doing better living in his freaking car than he was doing with having a house. Like, is that ironic? No, it's not, because it's designed that way. We're designed to stay in debt so that we keep working. Work, 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 work. Work your fingers down to the bone. And once you pay your bills, there ain't nothing to come home with. Once you pay your bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once you pay your bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. That is by design. Design, design, design. And I just hate that I know the design, but I just can't break out the design. That's my thing. I know what's going on, but I just don't know how to break out of it, honestly. It's like knowing you're in a prison. That matrix. You know you're in a matrix. You know that. Others don't know that. They believe that's how it's really supposed to be. But you know you're in a matrix, but you just can't find your way out. That's the difference. That's where I feel like I'm at. Like, I know that this is not really how God intended this stuff to be, but I can't figure out how to get out. And I'm just going to continue to just ask God's guidance. And if he doesn't bring me out, that means I guess I never was supposed to be out of it. Because at this point, I don't know what else to do. But yeah, I was thinking about doing car lifing, because like, I was like, shoot, if I ever did get my little husband home, that's when the hard battle comes. You can't find no place when you'd have been in prison. They don't want you being able to get out and succeed. Like, that is a sabotage. Like, you literally, they don't rent to people that are, or it's hard to find something. Just look at Rajiva the Ruler, one of my favorite prison YouTubers, and the hardest thing she said was finding a place to stay when they know you literally are violating probation when you have no place to stay. But that was the hardest thing, finding some place for her to stay. They won't even let you be on the lease, so you can't even hardly just go stay with family. If family don't own that house, they can't even allow you to stay there. And that's bad. That's how, and that ensures that recidivism. See, they want that revolving door. They want you to get out of prison, go back, get out, come back. Because the more heads they put in the bed, the more bread. This guy said this on YouTube, but I probably said that incorrectly. But yes, that's the truth. That's where they would rather you be, because you're making them money at that point. But yeah, I was thinking me and Marcello should get us a RV and just live once he does get out, girl. If it's before Jesus come back, because y'all know I always say he coming back when Jesus come back.
And fear and lack and scarcity. When I actually believe that greater is out there, if I believe greater is out there, then I know that I don't have to sacrifice my happiness, my joy, and my health to get it. Whatever I'm trying to get, money, resources, access, wealth, I don't have to exchange that. Because what God would have for me does not require that. What God has for me does not require my health.
This is not from God. This endless work is that. Ain't no way God designed this earth and said, hey, I just want all these humans that I'm creating, all my creations, to come here and just work till they die and never get ahead. That gotta be straight from the pits of jail, from the devil.
My mental focus, my mental health, right? I keep forgetting, like, it's kind of funny, but it's not. I forget that I have a mental illness. I was diagnosed with major depression and moderate anxiety. And that's all well and good.
And you know what? She called it mental, what did she say? Mental illness. And that's the thing. I never even seen that as mental illness. Because I have severe depression and high anxiety. Like she just expressed. But I never knew that was like mental illness, honestly. But y'all know, whenever I can settle this life out some, because I know it'll never be to that point when I get a chance. I've been saying when I get a chance for 1,000,001 years, and I ain't never got no chance. Because I ain't never got no time. But when things slow down a bit for me, because right now I'm going to the chiropractor and stuff, But so I do want to seek therapy. Honestly, like I literally do. I need to unpack all this different stuff that I've been through in my life, like that depression and the unresolved things dealing with my mother being not just passing away, knowing that she passed away due to somebody else's hand, and the stuff with even with Marcello that will send you for a loop. Like literally, that has sent me for a loop, and that you're less able, like I more can talk to you about my mother passing away wrongfully than I can talk to you about my husband being wrongfully convicted, because nobody is accepting or even willing to sit a listening ear for that, but for other issues they may. So that's kind of something that I always have to just keep and bottle up and keep to myself. um, and then that's actually a good reason why we have our prison wide support groups, because sometimes people that have been through what you're going through, they understand more and they're less judgmental and they're more willing to just listen without the judgment, without the being, oh girl, you stupid, oh you can't find nobody free, girl. Now I've been looking, I ain't find nobody, so I decided to go and find me one in prison, girl. Yeah. But yeah, I soon will be, because narcissistic relationships, I'm an empath. I have learned so much about myself. And now that I know a lot about myself, I need to start dealing with those issues, like going to therapy and stuff, and seeing can I get past some of these things. Um, Stop being a freaking people pleaser, because in the end, you don't please nobody. You can do all you can for others, and they'll write that off and be like, "You ain't did nothing for me. You ain't hardly did nothing." Or you'll know you clearly always out there on the limb, and they'll say they did just as much for you as you did for them, and you didn't never see them out there on the limb with you all the time. But they'll say it. So I don't know. That people pleasing gotta go. That narcissistic energy, I'm getting rid of that in my life, and it's been hard. Like it's been hard, but I'm slowly making those moves towards you know and then I also have to let go. Like I have a very hard time letting go, like even of my failures. Like it is so hard to let it go. Kitty, you didn't succeed again. Now granted, Kita didn't succeed many times, a lot more times than a lot of people. A lot of people, when they don't succeed the first or second time, they kind of call it quits and say, hey, I'm just gonna work this job. But Keita just keep on going, running, jumping off that roof, saying, no, but this time it's gonna be different. And it don't be no different, girl. It don't be no different. I still come back with my tail tucked.
People in my life and I treat myself like I don't have these things going on in my mind. That there's something not wrong with me, that I just keep powering through and working through. And then I get upset.
Well, a lot of the black community, which doesn't help, whenever you go through something mentally, they tell you just pray about it. And if you're like, okay, I prayed, and like I still literally have these issues, then it just reflects back on you. Well, it's kind of something wrong with you. Like I said, how people say, whatever I want, I manifest it. And I'm like, well, maybe my manifesto is broken, because like literally the things I manifest, they don't happen. Like, what's wrong with my manifester? But yeah, it reflects back on you. If it doesn't happen, it's your fault. And I understand that to a certain point, but at some point, it's not literally your fault. You need help outside of yourself. Like I do remember my mother, she always used to say, Kita, you make your life. Oh my God. And she would say it at the right time, like when I'm going through it, and oh my gosh, I gotta go to this stupid job. I'm so sick of working overnight. I literally just want to lay in my bed. Like I did not know this would be I used to say I didn't know I was marrying this job. I literally just thought I was working a job. I did not know I was taking for life vows when I signed the job application. I didn't know this was it. And she was like, well, Keita, if you want something better, you have to do better. But Keita already had went out there and tried to do better. But Keita just fails every time. And I literally cannot understand it. But I'm told that Keita, it's because it's your fault. So that also brings down self-esteem. Okay, Keita doesn't know how to do anything right because Keita never comes back with the results that so it's a whole mind thing. And then you get into self-hate. Because at that point, you start like, okay, well, I'm just dumb. I don't, or maybe I'm not pretty enough. I can't get on, I don't make it on YouTube because those girls that make it on YouTube, they look a lot better than I do. They dress a lot better than I do. They, you know, or their talent is a lot better than I do. They know the right people because they're so pretty that they, it really brings you down. Like honestly, yeah. So, girl, I understand, and I love to hear her straight out say these things, say them. But like, I kind of got off topic, but like they'll say just pray, and then when you just pray, because I've been praying since day one, girl. I've been praying from the beginning of the struggle. And then when it doesn't pan out and it just gets harder and harder and worse and more things happen, because that means that, it's something wrong with you. It's basically something wrong with you because you prayed and it didn't happen. And it clearly happens to everybody that prays. Nobody's willing to just say that some things just you're gonna have to go through. And it's not because you did nothing wrong. It may not be because it is just you have to go through. And yes, I see you. I see you trying. I see you. Instead of blaming me all the time, Keita, you are where you at because of you. Baby girl, I can see how bad you want this. But at this moment, it may not be for you. Or something like that. Or I can see the hard work. I could see how, like, even when I was struggling being a single mother, and it was just too goddamn much. And people would tell me, like, I literally was finna lose my freaking mind. But then I woke up one day, my daughter was grown. I'm like, oh, okay, I made it. I'm not gonna, perish from this. And the whole time, nobody was ever like, oh, I get it. It is very hard being a single mother. I mean, it is, you end up kind of losing yourself. It's hard to keep everything together. It's hard to make sure you're the mother, the father, you're paying the bills, you're making sure the child eats, you're going to all the meetings at school, you're helping the child with the homework, you're making sure the child gets into college, you're making sure of this, you're making sure of that. Never making sure of yourself, though. You, little by little, are losing you. But that's okay because, not that it's okay, but that child comes first. That child comes first no matter what. No matter what you got going on, that child comes first. But it's still not okay to lose yourself. But rather than recognizing, baby, you are burning the candle at both ends, people come in and say, well, it's you. You're not making it because of you. Like literally that drives you crazy. And why don't you just pray? And then you go and pray and things kind of are still the same. You're like, well then I guess my prayer didn't work. Which that's not true that your prayer didn't work. That's not true that God didn't hear my prayers. God heard my prayers. Maybe God has a harder battle that I have to endure because he has a bigger task that I have to do. Nobody ever acknowledges that. Maybe I have to go through more training than the next because of where this destiny God has. Not that mine is any greater or any lower, but fighting for justice is harder than any other task that I literally see. Like, you are not going to get justice. I mean, not justice. You're not going to get support when you're fighting for justice. you're gonna get backlash. You're gonna get hate. You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna get called stupid. You're gonna get told you don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna get you're gonna get trolls. You're gonna get literally everything. My channel would clearly be probably one of the top channels if it did not have anything to do with justice. If I was sitting making Play-Doh figures, I'm sure that would have taken off by now. If I was anything I could imagine doing would have been taken off before a channel about justice. So just because, their only answer is just pray, which that's an answer, but also there's still a such thing as mental illness. Mental illness still exists. So if we never address those mental illness and we just say, oh, just go pray, and then when you come back and your problems are still there after you prayed, then what do? That's where the problem comes in, because we don't acknowledge anything but go pray, and after the prayer everything should be fixed. But when it's not fixed, what do you do then? Because prayer is like the ultimate. What can you do after that? What do you do after prayer? I've even heard pray and let go and let God. I've let him, okay. But then you get confused because God doesn't help those that don't help themselves. So I literally do not, I need guidance, almost. It's like literally I'm out here and I'm in the middle of the woods and my GPS cut off on me and I'm trying to figure out which way to go. Like, would you just tell me, hey, cut your GPS on? Or would you say, maybe I can help you. Where are you trying to go? Oh, okay, I've been there. Let me show you the way. That would help more.
Overwhelmed or aggravated and stuff like that. And it's like, well, what if we let go of the things that are triggering your depression? What if we let go of things that are triggering your anxiety? Maybe you having an apartment right now is triggering your anxiety.
Dude, Jesus,
maybe living in your car is better for your mental health.
It was too much.
Right now, I'm loving being
apartment
in nature.
Is too much to keep up.
I'm in the woods right now, right? Like, I'm loving remaining in nature. That is a part of my medicine. That is a medicine for me. That is healing for me. And it's free. And maybe me living in my car and being in nature is what I need right now. And maybe by me being able to be in a better mental space, physical space, I'll be able to be available to the better that God has for me, as opposed to always being distracted and depressed and exhausted and depleted. Mm-hmm. Because all the things that I think that I need to be happy, I don't. Yeah. Sorry, the helicopter. But the whole point is, what if
my hands are doing a little better today? Like, y'all seen the last time I was drawing Trey King, I had to stop every 5 minutes, shake these hands out. So thank you, glory to God. That they still a little tingly, but I mean, I just rested with my pencil just now. Like, y'all seen me drawing before.
What we're holding on to is actually a cheap version of what we really desire. A lot of the things we're fighting for, relationships, I said before, and jobs, we don't even like anyway. A lot of who we have to be to compromise. We don't like who we are, but yet we're fighting so hard for things that don't make us well. And so yes, so like literally, let's go there. What happens?
And then people do tell you that, oh, you don't like your job, just quit. Okay, I understand, just quit, but then after that, what do I do? What do I do when the car note comes? What do I do when I'm hungry? What do I do when I need to put gas in my car? Like, of course, I don't like my job, but I literally cannot quit until I have something else, like a YouTube career or a business of my own. You understand? Like, so I'm in between. I'm building this structure that could possibly hold me, like the Ark, the Noah's Ark, Kita's Ark, or Kadlac's Ark. I'm building that. But until that is built and holding me afloat and my family afloat, I have nothing else to bring in income but the job. So you kind of stuck to the job until something else can, float you up out of it. That's why, like, it was a difficult struggle with my cosmetology career. Like, you don't just jump out of school and boop, you're the highest top notch cosmetologist making all the money in the world. No, girl, you build clientele. And you need clientele that's going to be coming back to you. You need repeat clientele. And then you can't just jump out the gate with these high old prices. You got to build yourself up. Like it's not as easy. So a lot of times, until that happens, you have to pay those bills some type of way. You can't stop eating until you make it. So what do you do in between? You work a job. But then the job is going to take your good energy, it's going to take your strength, it's going to take your health, and it's going to take, number one, your time. So you're fighting to do both. And then that's why the struggle gets so hard. You literally, I don't know, I can go on and on and on and on, girl. So let me let y'all listen to her.
If I choose not to live a life that is what other people consider the American dream. Okay, I might be homeless. I might live in my car. I might
dream is
not have.
I love what my coworker he tells me about George Carlin, which is I love talking to older people because I literally didn't even know who George Carlin is. If I'm supposed to know, please forgive me. But I need to go look up some old comedy routines he has because this coworker tells me all the time about how he was saying like true stuff through comedy and stuff. And he was saying the American dream is a lie and you have to be asleep to believe it. I'm like, ain't that for real? Those that believe that are asleep, like literally, they are going to bed.
But if I was happy, if I was joyful, if I was content, if I was healthy, if I was loved, right? Like if I had all these things that money can't buy, wouldn't it be worth it at that point? What if I'm holding on to all the stuff that really doesn't matter? And we're sacrificing ourselves and our lives and our relationships with people we love for stuff that doesn't matter, that doesn't satisfy, that doesn't remain. We're working to maintain a lifestyle
to pay bills
that doesn't make us happy. And then at the end of the week, we don't have the money anyway.
So, didn't I just say that?
Wouldn't I rather not have no
Work to live and I live to work. I hustle hard until it hurts. I work my fingers down to the bone. And once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Well, I had another one. It was, it's Friday, just got off of work. Boss tripping, pink slip in my purse. Bill stacked up, reach from wall to wall. Hey, I'ma die on someone. I might as well hit the mall. For real, we gonna die on someone, girl. You can't never pay all them bills off. Like, so at this point, when we gonna stop trying?
any way and be happy. Instead of throwing it into a home or throwing it into a car or whatever else that I feel like I need. Some people get a car because they have a job they have to get to. So you're working a job to pay for a car. And you don't even get to take that car anywhere that you actually
And
want.
nowadays, car prices are so inflated. They are not even worth what you're gonna pay for a car. Cars are like $40,000 something dollars. That is ridiculous. A regular old A car, not even no top of the line money car. Like none of that. A regular A car, 40 something thousand dollars. Ridiculous. $500 something dollars a month payments for just the car. Now don't forget the car insurance. That's ridiculous just for a car.
Oh, except locally. Wouldn't you rather be able to make money to pay for your car to go where you want to go, to do what you want to do?
Yep.
I'm just in a
We
place
just
where I'm
want
just ready to
freedom.
let it all go.
I just want
Let it all go.
Tired of
Actually
being
face
bound.
the fear of lack, the fear of confrontation, the fear of me figuring out who I am without all this stuff, without all these things.
I'm with you.
without all these things that I think that I need to make me a high functioning adult.
Mm.
Because if it costs me my happiness, my health, and my joy, I don't
It's
think it's
not worth it.
I'm willing to give up what doesn't satisfy me anyway for the greater that God has for me. You know? I realize that a lot of things we do is out of fear anyway. Like, it's not out of really a true desire. It's not out of passion or purpose or mission even. It's all almost like all of those things come
Can't
secondary
even get to
to
my
what we think
passion
we
or
have to
purpose
do,
or mission.
to what we think we have to be or who we think we have to be. Right? Like, we feel that being out of alignment. We feel not being fulfilled, not being in purpose on purpose. We feel like we're kind of fumbling through life. I think because we're trying to uphold this version of ourselves we think we have to be, but I don't think it's a one size fits all. I don't think that everyone was made to fit this idea. I think it works for a few, but for most of us, we're just working to survive.
Yeah, that part.
There
Thank
is no
you.
room to really be.
And when you don't want to just work to survive, people just say you're lazy. Or it didn't work because you didn't try hard enough. Baby, let's let her talk.
room to consider, to dream. You know, it's like we say, "Oh, I have to work this job because I have to pay these bills." It's like, well, what if you actually just got rid of the bills?
That part, like how you do
What would be
that?
the excuse then?
How you
What
do
would be
that,
the way
girl?
of you being who you're supposed to be? I feel like a lot of us are off mission. A lot of the world is not being fed because we're off mission, because we're in survival. We think we have to do these things in order to be happy.
And they're doing that. They're keeping us in survival mode. People that run this business here, let's call this a business because that's what it is. But people that run this business, they keep us in survival mode. Because people that are just trying to survive are going to do anything you tell them to do.
But I'm at a place again where I'm really okay with living in my car. I'm thinking about doing that, moving full time in my car. I moved into my car last summer to go travel to California with my husband. That was fun. But I'm really thinking about making this a lifestyle for me because that equates to freedom for me. Having options, having choices, being able to make my own decisions, to determine what life is going to look like for me. To be in nature.
All right, Trey
Nature's my
King.
medicine. I need nature. I need it.
All right.
I need it. You know what I mean? And the way that life is set up, sit up at this desk 8 hours a day and trading all
Messing
this
up
stuff
your
for your
back.
health. A lot of people are developing heart disease.
Mhm.
A lot of people are developing heart disease because they're sitting
You're not supposed to be sitting down that long. Yep.
desks all day long. Your body was not meant to be stagnant.
Sure
Your body
is.
was not meant to be still for 8 hours. Your
And
body-
that too, I believe, we're doing a lot of things. The reason we're getting these results because we're doing everything like the opposite of our God really intended. Like, so let's say, like she's saying, sitting at the desk for that long, your body was never made for that. Desks didn't even exist. So, of course, we weren't supposed to be sitting at no desk all day long. And then, like, the issues I was going through, like not sleep deprivation, what is it called? It's like being jet lagged. Working the third shift, you get something called shift work disorder. And it's like being continuously, all the time, jet lagged. And you develop, like, higher blood pressure. They say people that worked overnight usually have knocked off about 10 years of their life from working overnight. And the thing is, who was meant to work overnight? Back in the day, like before we created all these different things, we created something called a light bulb and this and that. Yes, they are good inventions and stuff like that. But now they have caused us to live against the way we were supposed to live. Who was supposed to work at night? There was no light. When the light went down, which was the sun, the source, baby, we went to bed. We were going to bed. You might have stayed up to 8, 9 o'clock by candlelight, but baby, you even stay up all night doing those shifts. That's something we created, but it doesn't work. But we created that. So we're working so far outside of the way we're supposed to, living so far outside of the way we were designed to live that it just is not working anymore. And that's what it is because we're still human. We still were created to be human, and humans were never created to do a lot of the things that we're doing.
It's people. And these are the effects of capitalism. These are the
Oh,
effects.
thank you, girl.
People feeling disillusioned, people not being clear, people not being in purpose or on a mission
Yeah,
are the effects and the ramifications of this Western society of capitalism.
that
People don't
part.
even know who they are.
Yeah,
They don't even know what they like.
you ain't got time to like nothing.
Would you like to earn 6 figures?
You ain't got time to like nothing. You gonna like whatever pays that bill. And that's what we can't be our authentic self. I think if everybody was more so their authentic self, number one, it wouldn't be so much lack. You know, everybody could have in this world. It's just we got a lot of greed going on. And then a lot of people not like me, not in my purpose. Your purpose is what's gonna make way for you. But I don't believe my purpose was a restaurant. Oh, dang it, I forgot I gotta go. I promised my nephew. I hate promising kids stuff. Because kids will hold you to it. But I was supposed to take my nephew out today. He asked to go get some boba. And I wanted to check out this place called Bow. Bend the Bow. Bend the Bow. Because I've been wanting to check out Bows for so long, but have never, you know. But they just recently started serving boba. So my nephew wants some boba. My nephew Zay. That y'all see me doing his hair yesterday. And I might continue that topic I was talking about Ice Cube was talking about how these record labels are kind of owning the private princes. Like, girl. And that video got quite a bit of views, so maybe y'all do want to hear a little commentary on that. And then there was a Crazy Bone was talking. I used to love Bone. Like, that's the type of hip hop that, like, people that actually have skills and stuff that I used to look up to when I was trying to, but they did talk about that street life. But Crazy Bone was talking about how they had to talk about that basically because they made these deals to fill these prisons. I didn't know that part like that. But you could kind of, you honestly, though you don't know things straight out, you can kind of put two and two together. Anybody with common sense, that's why they literally don't want us to have too much common sense. So they can tell you that the square is circle and the circle is square, girl, and you believe it. But anybody with common sense could kind of see that because, you know, when you see the type of music they put out, and then it's to our people. Like, I don't see all this, I've never seen no street life country music. Maybe they got it, but I ain't at hardcore country music. I don't see that. I don't see that in the pop industry. This hardcore bang 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 and substances type life. I'm not seeing that in their music. But in our music, you got to be twerking, you got to be putting in work, you got to be on the corners, you got to be like, baby. Black people do more than that. That's like when I was a female rapper, I was like, I don't want to talk about sex. I want to talk about anything but sex. Because I don't just sit around and have sex all day. Like, and I'm sure these female rappers don't either. But if you listen to their music, you would think that's all they did. Just lay up in the house and have sex all day long. And then get bags and stuff. And get their hair done and their nails done and this and that. And then stack up plenty money. Like, that's all you would think that they do. But there's so much more to a woman, a black woman's life than that. So I wanted to make music about everything but that. We gonna have to tie it up soon because money will be home soon. You know, grandbaby gonna be all over the place.
The place, all that stuff, all that ego stuff, all that. I got this, I got these many cars, and I got these many degrees. I'm not knocking people who do it, or I got this amount of money. I'm just not.
It's just not the flex like that. Like, what do you have beyond that?
I couldn't care less.
Do
I want
you
to be
have
happy. I want to
happiness?
be
Yes.
joyful, and I'm
Do
willing to
you
let
have your
go to be
family?
joyful. I think I spend a lot of energy and
Are
time
you doing what you want
being
to do in
exhausted
life?
because I'm trying to maintain or hold
Are
on to
you
something.
causing the impact that God put you here to cause?
And you're fighting for it with your life. I fought for relationships with friends who meant me no good,
Mm.
fighting, spending all this energy, effort, trying to convince
Family
them that I'm a
members,
good
don't
thing,
forget
trying to
that
convince
part,
them to
girl.
stay, ex relationships with other lovers, trying to convince them that I'm good enough when I should have just let go because in me fighting, not only was I exhausting myself, but I was almost
Mm.
affirming.
And let's talk about that. Either you love it or you leave it. And now to me, it really don't make no difference. But if you gonna stay up, then let's be clear. All them silly lies and games, I ain't having it. Hey, you gonna pay some bills, and you gonna keep a job. And if you gonna be with me, then you come home on time. And not 1 in the morning, not 2 in the morning. I may bring your ass home at a reasonable time. Yes.
What they said about me, affirming that I'm not good enough. Because if I knew that I was good enough, I wouldn't fight.
Love it or leave it.
Right? If I knew that I was a beautiful thing, I wouldn't try to convince. I would just be. I would just take up space and be. And if you can't resonate with me, if you can't, gel with me, then you're not for me.
Yep, that part.
And we wonder why we're so ragged and exhausted. I think it's because a lot of us are holding on to things that we're not supposed to be involved with or have or be connected
I was always fighting for the love of my family. And then I realized one day that, you don't have to work for people to love you. If they don't love you, they're probably never going to love you. Never going to love you. So you really, literally cannot fight for love. If they're going to show you how they feel about you. Yeah. And it hurts that it is family that does it. It truly does hurt. But you can't make. Tank had a song like that, and I promise you that made me. Every time I heard that song, it made me think about Marcello because he has his family abandoned ship like the minute he was gone, and they would always sell him so many dreams. I'm gonna help you with this. I'm gonna help you get free. I'm gonna get you a lawyer. This, and that. All these different hoop dreams, and he believed it for like a long time until one day he was like, don't even, you don't even have, you literally, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say what you're gonna do, and then you clearly don't follow it up. You just could say nothing, and then I wouldn't expect nothing. But there's this Tank song that when I would hear it, I promise you it made me think of him. It's called "I Can't Make You Love Me," and that's literally what it makes me think of. You can't make if family members don't love you just because you are their blood, their flesh and blood, there's nothing you can do to make them love you. If they don't, they just don't. And even and the reason we feel so strongly about our family, because you think those are those people that are gonna love you no matter what. When a lot of times I have gotten a lot more love, support, and anything from strangers before I've gotten it from my family. And it does hurt. It hurts. It hurts when your family see you going through and then they sit back and act like they can't do nothing for you, but then when they need you, you come through with your cape on and you fixing their situations before they can even drop a tear about it. But yeah, so I started at a certain point just letting my family feel how they feel. Like honestly, the people that care, I could count on my finger, probably less than one half of a hand. And now I let the other people just say, I let them voice that, oh, I love you. But if your actions don't show me that, I don't care how many times you recite that, I'm not gonna believe it. And I'm not fighting or fiending for it either anymore. You love me, you don't, you don't. And it's okay, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not for everybody to love, right? And even your family. It's not for everyone in your family to love you. Either they do or they don't. But a lot of times people don't, people take family for granted. They really do. People take family for granted. And it's not until you don't have that family member anymore that you go like, dang, I really did love that person. but by then it's kind of too late. We show people our butts and hate them while they're alive, but then the minute we putting dirt over them, then we love them so much. When we literally could have, helped them, support them. There's enough family members in my family and Marcello's family to have been broke this story of Marcello Jackson. But they watch me struggle with it every day. They sit back. They talk. Some talk behind my back. Some just say, "Oh, that's crazy, Keita. Oh, she always doing something. Can't never get nowhere. Need to sit on down and give it up," rather than picking up any fingers to help. They literally could help, but they don't. And that was half of the reason why I left during Facebook. Ugh. Because it was nothing but my family. And I got no support there. Like, my YouTube is moving slowly, but I know that my YouTube is not going to be making it off of the strength of my family. Though it could have, but I know that's not where my help is going to come from my family like that. They're going to look at you, they're going to talk about you, say, "Oh, yeah, whatever, and this, and that." And then the minute you make it, girl, they'll be right there. They're going to be right there in line. That's the part. We literally could have been and built this together a long time ago. I could have ate, you could have ate, we all could have ate. But, I don't know. But that's why I don't even look to my own family. Now, true, if they come through, thank you. I'm so appreciative, but I don't look for it anymore. Just like they all came through for me, surprisingly, to move. They came through. And I could not even, because I'm not used to that. I am not used to anybody lifting any fingers for me. It has been times that I have begged for him. And they look at you blank faced and, "Oh, I wish I could help you," but you actually can, but you just won't. And I was taken aback that they actually came through it. I couldn't have done it. This time, that move would not have happened without my family. And that was so refreshing. But I also can't get into the habit of saying, "Okay, now I'm going to expect the next time I'm in a bind that I need my family." Because it just, you got to depend on you. You really do. You really do. Because that's all you really have. You and God. You ain't got nobody else in this world, to be honest.
We think that this is the best, this is the greatest that there's ever going to be. And that is a lie. There's always better, there's always greater, there's always different.
Now that one part, I do agree. I do feel like that. This is pretty much the best it gets. It almost feels like it's kind of downhill from here. But that's because of all the stuff I've been through. And to actually think that there can be better, sometimes you got to see that there's better. As long as you're in the battle, you cannot see a day without the battle. But once you come out the battle, that's when you can say, "Oh my gosh, this is beautiful." So though I don't see better days, I see it every day kind of being a little, downhill. I'm further away from everything that I, desired and wanted and was planned to be. But that's because I'm still in this battle. It won't be till I'm on the outside that I can see differently.
There's always an alternative, but they keep the alternatives away from us or condemn them to keep us stuck and imprisoned.
Yeah. I tell Marcello that all the time. Anytime anything goes on, he's like, "Well, at least you're free." And I'm like, "Baby, we ain't as free as you think we are out here." I know we got somewhat freedom to come and go, but you're still dictated by a lot of different things. You're not dictated by those walls, bars, and barbed wire, but you're dictated by other things of what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go. Even though, Rajaga Rula is free, she's still on probation. She has a curfew. She can't take certain jobs. She can't go certain places. She can't travel though her YouTube is clearly huge and taking off. but there's things she cannot do because she's not 100% free. So there's levels to freedom. I have a higher level of freedom than Marcello, but just because I have a higher level of freedom does not mean that everything is all good in the hood. And I don't have nothing but sunshine, roses, and butterflies out here. But that's what he thinks, that everything is. I used to actually think, like, who went through the worst? Like, did he go through worse being up in prison, knowing he didn't do nothing, trying to survive the guards, the other incarcerated citizens, the conditions, how hot it is now, everybody about to faint for their life. Like, Florida been over 100 degrees, and it's hotter inside those DLC cells because there is no AC or anything. And we've been fighting for that, y'all know. But people say, oh yeah, whatever, they don't need no, they shouldn't have did what they did. If they want an AC, they should have stayed out here free, girl, and this and that. But they actually are going through it up in there, just trying to survive. People get sick and everything else. But I was like, did he have it harder, or did I have it harder? Like, I really don't know who had it harder, because though he had to deal with that, he never had to pay a bill. He never had to figure out how we gonna pay rent. He never had to figure out what am I gonna do? How am I gonna feed this child? He never had to figure none of those things out. All those things fell on my back. So who had the shorter end of the stick behind this? I don't know. But I know he feels like he had the shorter end. But baby, I had to raise our daughter alone. That's a pretty short stick.
Letting up, really confronting my fears, being like, okay, Alicia, why are you so afraid to let this go? Or why are you doing this thing? Because I also found that when it came to making money, specifically,
Project Reach the World, I'm afraid to let that go. Because I feel like the minute I finally let it go, that means I've literally given up on Marcello coming home. That's a scary thing. But I know I'm gonna have to accept that. You know, until Jesus come back. Come back. But until then, I gotta kinda face the fact that, you know, he's not coming home. It's not even set up like that. You ain't got no support. You ain't got no, you know, paid a lawyer ain't doing ish. I turned in his story to the state attorney. They had a whole unit that's supposed to look into it. Ain't heard nothing back from them. I done been to every organization and did all that I can do. So at some point, I got to realize it's not gonna happen. And that is a very hard thing to accept, I promise you. It is so hard to accept that. And especially knowing he doesn't deserve it. It is so hard to accept that. But, I mean, I just have to accept it. You know, this is the world that we live in, the society. It's built off of people being imprisoned. It started that way, y'all know that, right? This country started like that. So, I mean, that's just what the country is built on. I can't change this whole country, not just me. So, this is kind of what it is. So this is what it is. But it's scary to believe that, to have to realize that you're gonna have to accept that.
like, oh, I have to do this thing because I need money. I have to do this. It's like, well, how about you just do stuff that's in alignment with you? How about you just be who you are, say what you want to say, right? Take up space in a way that only you can take up space, and allow yourself to resonate. Give people the choice to resonate with you on a deeper level, and therefore pay you for whatever service you're offering, instead of trying to force something, right? Because force it comes from scarcity. Forcing things is a scarce action. It's a lack action.
coffee. I need to go out and get me some type of caffeine. I don't really want the energy drink. Maybe I can go get me some special coffee. I know my nephew want to get boba. Don't really want Starbucks because don't I always get Starbucks? But you know my Starbucks videos be coming through, girl. They always get that watch time out with them Starbucks. People love Starbucks. Cause I could make a whole channel about that. It probably the amount of times before I could make a channel about freeing a wrongfully convicted man. We care more about coffee than that. Okay. I'm getting tired, y'all, but I don't know. Maybe I'll be back later. Don't know. Know that I wanted to finish that Ice Cube video though.
Work weeks. I have not been working. I've put down work, meaning not doing anything that I get something in exchange for from other people, but just doing stuff for myself. Prioritizing rest, sleep, play, community, connection, nature. And it has been eye-opening. I have been clearer than I've ever been. I feel free, and the sphere of not working has started to loosen its grip on me. I don't feel the need to rush. I don't feel the need to do anything what God is requiring me.
That part, just like today is my day off. You know why I'm tying this video up? Because I looked at that time and it said it's 3:30. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that means my day off is almost over and it's almost back to work. So I literally count every second. I don't just live. I'm like literally like trying to beat the clock. Like she just said that. You're not doing that when you're not constantly at work. You're just living.
And in this moment, I'm able to be obedient and rest. And I've been chewing on words. Every year, I pick a word to focus on for the new year. And one of the words I was thinking about was flow or permission. Because, I want to feel more flow. I don't want to force anything. I don't want to make things happen. I want to be in alignment, to be in the right place at the right time, and to be receptive to whatever is happening. Because even what I can imagine for myself, God can imagine greater. But also, if I'm forcing something, it shows that I lack trust. And I think trust is going to be my word for 2023. All I want to do is trust. Trust God. Trust my intuition. Trust my abilities. Trust the fact that I am enough. Trust the fact that no amount of work is going to make me more valuable. Trust that even if no one...
And what I have to realize is that because of where I feel like I'm at, I feel as though I am not enough. I have to realize that I'm okay being just who I am. Kita's enough. Whether Kita works at a restaurant or Kita is the artist that is just doing it on the side, Kita's enough. Kita is enough. Whether she's happily married or whether she's single and been single for a long time, Kita's enough. Whether Kita living in her car or she got that apartment that she's spending every dime on, Kita's enough. That is literally where I have to get to.
Approach what I do. I can still do it, right? Trust. I really need to put myself in a position to trust God, and that's the reason why for the past couple weeks I haven't done anything. Like literally, I have done nothing productive. Oh. And even though I think rest is productive in that it allows you to heal and to be, I think rest is also productive because it allows you to learn to trust again, to not trust in only yourself and your effort and your muscle and in the world systems, but also in God. Yeah. But trust is my word for 2023. All I want to do is trust God. And I've been struggling. I have trust issues with God, I'll be honest. I have trust issues.
See how she being real.
I want to remedy those things, and I want to heal it.
Because that's where, like I was saying, that's where it came from. Because it feels like you prayed, and you're like, God can do it, and you see Him doing it for everyone. Though you try not to look around, you see Him coming through. And you're like, okay, so God, did you forget me? Like, okay, so maybe I gotta be better, and then God will be able to bless me. And then you go back and you do better, and you believe more, and you have more faith, and then you're like, God, did you see that? Like honestly, like it does feel like that. Like I prayed before my mother passed, and my mother still passed. And I prayed when Marcello was going to them courtrooms, and Marcello was still taken. And it almost felt like the what I pray for, I literally get the opposite. Like it is a bad, horrible session of opposite. And you start to feel a certain way, and being real, and you do start feeling that way because you know God can change anything, and then when He doesn't change your situation, you like, God, like not even God likes me. That's what you start feeling.
Myself
So I gotta
asking
be
God like
bad.
to heal my trust issues, and I found that the only way for me to heal my trust issues with God is to put myself in a place to trust God. And so that meant me not working. That meant me not doing anything by my own effort or my own might to get things done. And I don't know. It's not like I don't know what it is, but when I gave up the need to work, people sent me money. Stuff grew. People was like, the world didn't end. The world didn't stop, right? And what I couldn't do with my own might and muscle, people gave out of the gratitude, out of the abundance of their own heart. I didn't want for anything. I didn't starve. I didn't die. You know what I mean? But we lie to ourselves constantly, telling ourselves that if we don't do this thing, we're going to die. We're going to die. I didn't die.
So you just think
And I'm well rested. I'm more clear and I'm more trusting than I ever was before I started. Do I have a long way to go? Yes. Do I still want to build more trust in God? Absolutely. More trust in myself, my intuition, my gifts? Absolutely, right? But I feel like this is a good first step. I didn't try to make things happen. I just allowed them to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like we feel exhaustion and frustration sometimes because we're trying to force stuff to happen that doesn't need to happen right now or it doesn't need to happen at all. Instead of trying to make it happen, just accept. There was a day this week that our internet was down, and my mother was really frustrated about it.
And that's what I hate when I just say I just want to accept where I'm at. Like honestly, I just want to be happy where I am. Like, and then people say that's negative, and I'm like, literally, what can I do that is not negative? Because when I say, okay, I'm here, this is what it is. I just got to be happy with this job that I'm working. I just got to be happy, doing this YouTube, not too much getting the story nor the funds from it. Just kind of being where I'm at, like how I wanted kids so bad, more kids, and just having to accept that, hey, Kita, that's probably not gonna happen for you because it's kind of too late. When I say that, people say that's negative. But to actually get to happiness, you have to let go of what you cannot have. I even have to let Marcello go. I literally have to let Marcello go. And when I say that, people say that's negative. So I don't know. I really don't know.
So whatever, I'm gonna go. The internet's not working. There's nothing that I can do. So instead of trying to force something to happen, instead of trying to fix it, I'm gonna accept it and allow it and flow. I gave myself permission to enjoy the day. I don't need to be connected to the TV, to the internet. I'm not working anyway, right? Like I don't need to be in control of everything. And when I yielded to whatever God was doing, yes, it's frustrating, right? Like yes, the internet being down was frustrating, but I think sometimes the reason why things are frustrating is not because a thing happens, but because we want what we want to happen and it's not happening the way we want it to. Or we're trying to control something. So instead of me putting effort and being exhausted and irritated and trying to fix something, I accepted it and I allowed it and I kept on pushing. And I had a great day. I went in nature. I went to Barnes and Noble. I had a great time. I just sat there because why not? It's almost like sometimes the frustrations, the things that we think are frustrating are actually a gift, right? Like the things that we think are ruining our lives or our plans. They might be frustrating our plans, but maybe our plans aren't the best plans. Maybe our plans are actually plans of destruction, not joy. And maybe, the frustrating circumstances that avail themselves are an opportunity for us to be joyful and experience joy. Maybe we're in our own way. Maybe we're so afraid. We're so scarce. We're so, fearful.
Roaches causing panic.
Okay, so I am gonna stop here. Trey King, if you see this, this is your Project Reach the World drawing. I reviewed the video that you did a few days ago about the lady cop. I mean the what was she, nurse or something inside the Georgia prison. Um, they got caught and she lost her job and all of that stuff. I reviewed your video as I was drawing you from Project Reach the World. My Project Reach the World is a fusion of all my art forms that I use to get through all my dark storms. I'm an artist, I sketch, I paint, I have acrylic oil painting, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a cosmetologist, I'm a hair sculptor, I do so many different things. I'm also a author, illustrator, and I have a magazine called Family Reunited. That magazine is basically going to highlight different things about the prison experience, dealing with trying to be a family through incarceration, with bars between us, basically. All of those things I combine together with my art to try to tell the story and break the story of my husband, who was wrongfully arrested and convicted and excessively sentenced in the state of Florida. I just want him home. That's all. That's all any of this is behind. And this is my way of spreading my story. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. All right, here's your girl Kadlac. Y'all check out all of those. Alicia Renice, I got a link there in the description box. Y'all check out Trey King and any other YouTuber. Support them because, baby, the YouTuber is nothing without the viewers. And thank you for anybody that has taken their time to support, view, and watch my videos. I see people there. I see people commenting. Thank you so much. Cannot do not an ounce of this without you. All right, here's your girl Kadlac.